You won't believe the things that I upcycled to make this rustic decor. Welcome to the Chic Show. Today's video is part of a playlist called Rustic Wednesday, but on Saturday. It's hosted by Repurpose My Way and Shabby Meets Bling. You'll find their channels in the description box below along with the playlist. So for this project, I soaked 2 tin cans in a mixture of vinegar, salt, and hydrogen peroxide. I left them actually a couple of days, turning them over every few hours. The smaller can did kind of come apart, but that worked okay for me for what I was going to do. So I'm using this pattern that I just made on my own, and I'm going to put it on there, and I'm going to try and use these wire cutters to cut through the can. I'm sure there's a much better, safer way to cut metal than what I have, and I will certainly have to look at getting that kind of tool. Now that I've traced my pattern onto the tin can, I'm going to kind of cut through the can as best I can at the top with the wire cutters. And then these purple scissors, they're not really scissors, they're from Dollar Tree, but I think they're garden scissors, and they seem to work the best. And here's what it looks like when it's completely cut out. And now I'm going to do the same type of thing with the larger can. As you can tell, I'm making some rustic crowns, and once I have the larger can done, I go ahead and I bend out those pointed ends on both cans to give them a different shape. I apologize that this video is so blurry, but what I'm doing is taking some gold beads and I'm hot gluing them to the points of the bigger can. And here's the way it looks. I did go back and cut further down into the can because I thought that had a better shape. Now I'm using this Crafter's Square canvas pad. If you have not seen these in your Dollar Tree, be sure and look for them. I'm going to be cutting a little strip, and I'm going to be using IOD's Apothecary stamps. To get the rustic look that I wanted, I did make a little cut, and then I tore the piece into a strip so that it would have frayed edges. And I'm going to stamp on the word Queen. I'm going to attach this to the smaller crown along with some jute twine and metal embellishment from my scrapbooking days. This is a set of metal cans that I found at Goodwill. They were originally from Anthropologie, but we're going to give them more of a country farmhouse look. I'm going to be adding this chicken rub-on transfer from IOD, as well as some typography that was in the same booklet. And to keep the pieces in place, I did use a piece of painter's tape. Then I pulled out that backing and used my transfer tool to transfer it onto the can. Once I removed the transfer paper, I went to burnish it in, and it was not down good enough, and I made a little boo-boo there. But oh well, this is supposed to be a rustic project. Next, I added on the words at the bottom, and then I went over everything lightly with my finger sander. We'll take a look at this completed project after the next one. Now for that smaller can, I'm going to be using this decoupage paper that I got from Sonnet's Garden Blooms. I believe it's recycled decoupage paper. And I took out the chicken so that it would kind of go along with the larger can. I'm using my wet paintbrush to go along the edges just to fray them a little bit so that it doesn't look so straight. Now I'll just apply this decoupage paper scrap to the front of my can using Mod Podge. I did spritz my decoupage paper with a little bit of water just to make it a little bit easier to work with, and then I went over the top of it with more Mod Podge. And here's a look at project 2 and 3 together. This is a cross that I picked up at a garage sale for, I think it was $1, but it was originally from Ace Hardware, $23.99, so imagine that. I love the rustic look of it right now, but I do want to jazz it up just a little bit. So I'm using these old rusty handles that I also got at a garage sale, and I'm going to attach them to this cross. Now the cross looks wood, and I thought it was, so I was going to drill holes in here. It turns out it's plaster or resin or something, but I was able to drill the holes through there. So I just marked the holes, drilled the holes, and then added that handle right in there. That way I can put the other 2 handles on top. Now I used hot glue to attach the other 2 handles, and I do not recommend doing that. I would either drill some more holes so they fit snugly down in there, or I would use something like E6000. Nevertheless, I do absolutely love this project, and I didn't think it needed an update on the paint or anything. I love the saying, "Rest in me" on the side, and I left it just like this. I hope you've enjoyed these rustic and primitive projects, and I hope that you'll check out the playlist in the description box below along with our hosts. If you like this video, I'm pretty sure you'll like this one right here. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to share the chic. Bye now.